The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Stop this.
Now we wait.
Placing sentry.
Rip and tear.
No charges left.
Knife deployed.
Spike down mid.
Teleport's ready.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
Oh, I am not cleaning this up. A gift. That's not ready.
No peeking.
Spike down mid. Last player standing.
Shadows traveling. Cover going out.
And that means going as fast as possible, which you'll see they are starting to do here.
Yeah, going in, but immediately Evan8ater is laying it down, as well as Rosemary. Just with the pistol there, able to secure some decent, well-needed picks. And Heist finding one off of a little bit too aggressive QX10 there, as Yunjin is trying to lock down here on site. And as the spike is ticking down here, coming out of the ineffective range of some of that utility there, but ultimately doesn't matter. Putting down that turret, gonna try and gain some of that passive control over the site there. Jumping down, Heist getting ready for action, is gonna fall. Logic's down to a 1v2, and Logic's gonna pick up another one. Securing that round, and a beautiful bonus from BHOP.
He just walk over them. I mean, it's weird, right? Because the retake, like, what do you have for utility? Not really that much. And so by
Device
playing
flash, I suppose.
right, like if by playing into hell, you're kind of isolating your options, right? Because that allows for them to just walk on site, fall on down, and then just it's perfectly set up for BHOP for the retake. But now, Acrylic, they have to play a little bit more open on site, prod a little bit, poke here or there, because that's what's gonna allow for your utility to be superb to theirs, right? BHOP, they don't quite have as much, so giving them those sight lines, which are typically tougher to get onto, it's gonna be a challenge for them.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that's going to show really quickly right here. I mean, Heist just sitting in one of their smokes, just going to be abusing the potential aggression here from QX10, but smoke fades and Heist falls, but it's going to be popping that not dead yet. Not sure if that was the right pick there, but oh, yeah, no, right behind that deadlock wall. I think they did patch that so that the revive could not go through the deadlock wall. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but Grid
Spike down.
Grifty
Mid.
taking down
Last
2,
player standing.
solidifying the round, but QX10 able to pick up a third for the round, bringing it just down to a 1v3 though. Very little HP left in the tank of Logic here, getting pushed up, needing some backup, needing some help. Doesn't want to get too greedy here. Also isn't aware of where QX10 could be. That's a 4K, that's a 5K for QX10, but ultimately falls to Rosemary.
Unfortunate. You do all that work and you say, "Oh, I'm so good at the game." Wait, what do you mean you didn't get 1 kill? What do you mean? What do you mean the chamber's still alive? Right. Yeah, I mean, unfortunate there for QX10, but a great showing so far in terms of individual players. However, Acrylic now, they need to either make up their minds in the sense of replicate what you did pistol round, right? Book it up mid, because that sensible utility, yes, it's going to be there. You know it is. That's going to give information over. But that's kind of your best bet there. And then, yeah, or bait out the rest of the utility.
Yeah, being able to, like, one of the big weaknesses of Sentinel utility is 90% of it, they need to be within range to have it have any effect, especially those deadlock sound sensors, a lot of the Killjoy alarm bot, and mollies, and like every bit of her utility need to be within range. So like what you said earlier, their retake potential should be next to 0 if the attack, if Acrylic does their job and clears out a lot of that utility before securing the site for their own, for themselves. But it looks like Acrylic just is not used to going up against this team and may need a couple rounds to adapt.
Yeah, BHOP, I mean, they're just set up so well here. And this is something that, honestly, at first glance, you'd say, okay, this is kind of just them trolling. But no, it works really, really well. These setups are immaculate. Heist finds one, Evan with another. And it just makes it so that this is a firing range. Acrylic now with just 2 members left.
Right off the bat there, and Evan 8-8er really just locking down that site, and the spike is still in A main there.
30 seconds left.
Jin and High Rise are just desperately trying to find some ground, try and find an equalizing pick here, and it looks like they went for that from the shadows there to grab that spike and try and get it planted over here on B. A little bit of an off default plant site right there, but maybe easily defendable from the side here. That shear went off. I think they know somebody is there in B main and just waiting for it to happen. This crossfire might be deadly. Able to find it.
My ultimate is ready.
Jin
Beautiful.
clutching that out, putting Acrylic on the board, and hopefully allowing their economy to have some bit of buffer there, because it was not looking good. And BHOP's economy is kind of ruined right now too.
It is, because that utility, you're constantly purchasing it every single round, right? The chamber trip, you go down, you place it. That's not credits you get back. It's not like a Sky Flash where it can sit in your inventory if you don't use it. No, you are using it every single round. Now, BHOP, I think they made one little mistake there on that retake. I don't know if the Vice Flash scanned that player in B main or whatever, but the Vice Wall was triggered. So you know somebody's at least in B main. You might be able to pop your Deadlock Galt, because at that point, it's kind of worth it, right? BHOP, you're going to struggle on attack, so every round you get on defense is best. Anything you can do to secure yourself an extra round, going to be important. I think they should have invested that Annihilation there, grab the pick A main, then it's a 2v1.
Oh, no, I completely agree there. Like, they need to get every round they can here on defense, and Rosemary seeing a lot of heat here, but ultimately able to find one with that tour de force before High Rise puts that to a pretty abrupt halt. Immediately going over onto A side. They're trying to secure this as or as QX10 is able to find Logic there in
Last
tree,
player
completely
standing.
opening it up, and Heist falls as well to high rise.
Spike
Grifty,
planted.
last one left alive here, has the Arc Rose in hand, ready to go, and just a single batch of those thorns. Man, I am not sure how this team comp is going to work out here on attack, especially because, I mean, they have one flash from Grifty that does scan, but, I mean, it's got a 20-second cooldown. It's just going to be a rough one because they have those smokes, but they don't have a lot of different utility for blocking that off. Wait, hold on, there's hope.
Oh.
No. Ronin, beautiful dart there, able to save the day, leaving one alive for Acrylic. And I think I'm seeing the economy issue with these teams right here. They are surprisingly equal in both their retake and just the mechanical ability of BHOP is really making up for the lack of utility there. They're able to draw each of these rounds out to the last player standing every single time. And no matter how good of a team you are and how much you save, it's still going to put a hurt on your economy.
Yeah, I mean, Heist has been doing a lot of that work, right? Taking those aggressive fights, but I know that in the previous round, I believe it was their bonus or something of that sort, BHOP, they actually donate over a gun. That's where Acrylic strike. Now Heist going to be taking those risks now and does find QX10, make it high rise as well. Go for more. Go and double tip. That's 3, maybe more. Yes, it is. Not dead yet. He's going to be invested here, but now you kind of got to run after everybody because now they're going to run away, and that's a free pick that they've just gained, and you've wasted your ult now.
Yeah, Yunjin definitely taking advantage of that as Heist runs out of life there in the not dead yet. Yunjin and Ronin trying to scale their way up. They're going to be running right into a chamber trip and right into Chamber's domain there. Throwing a shock dart was the right call. Ended up getting destroyed there. Backing off after grabbing that ultimate orb. Acquiring that Hunter's Fury. They have the lockdown as well, but it's against a Steel Garden, an Annihilation, and a lockdown. Like, BHOP has so many game-changing ults there. I mean, what are your opinions on Steel Garden? I'm hearing a lot of conflicting opinions from players, from casters. There's Ronin, able to find Grifty. Perfect timing from these two. Able to turn a 2v4 into a 2v1. Ronin shutting it down, and Logic falls as well. A 3K for Ronin on the board. But anyway,
You are
back to
telling
my
me.
question.
Hold up. You're telling me BHOP had 4 players in bid off of the space that the Clove gained from the Not Dead Yet. Not a single one went to flank and contain them in A main? Not even 2? I mean, they literally gave up all of that space that they just gained, meaning that Heist did, in fact, waste their ult then. I mean, it wasn't wasted if you keep the space, but no. Completely down the drain. Heist now just is sad. Come on, team. What's happening? Now you lose a 2v4. I mean, this goes back to the mistakes that we talked about. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win this map, and BHOP, it has costed them now 2 straight rounds, like maybe 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for that Heist running in. Ended up getting mollied off here and ultimately down on health. A pretty significant margin, but Grifty spraying that down with the air. He's able to find a 3rd.
Oh?
Shutting them down in B main here. That shear might have just saved BHOP's life. Logic able to clean one up, and that
Team Deadlock dead.
Team Deadlock nade. Ronin overwhelmed. It's a firing line, and Logic's going to end up finding that last headshot. It's a flawless from BHOP. They've adapted to the adaptation there. But I think Acrylic is starting to get a hang of this whole going up against 4 Sentinels thing.
I mean, I think, though, at the same time as Acrylic is adapting, BHOP are also adapting, right? Like, they're making countermeasures. They're saying, oh, wait, they figured us out on this A site or this B site. They have a game plan. Let's completely make sure that it's not at all going to work. Yeah, let's just change it up on our playstyle a little bit, because with 5 Sentinels, you can do that. You can change where people are setting up. You can change the gun that you're buying, and that is going to be great for you. Heist, however, gets taken down, and I feel like that has been the catalyst for Acrylic winning rounds time and time again. If Heist gets 1, round's over. But if not, well, you're going to see what happens.
Yeah, and that's really the power of, like, having the ability to have that metal and those abilities like dropping smokes, clearing sight lines, and blocking off just general access to areas based off of fear or just line of sight. It's really dangerous to not have flashes and smokes up and ready at a moment's notice. And that's one thing about Clove that's really nice, is able to place smokes within a certain radius around the map, even after death. I mean, that death in mid, able to smoke off in flower. It's able to smoke off like all the way down onto B site. So there is a lot to be said about Clove's ability to smoke after death, but it still is heavily limited by what your team is able to accomplish. But I do like what you said there, that the entirety of BHOP is able to switch up their entire map plan and setup in pre-round.
Oh boy.
Moment's notice, and there's the tag we needed from QX10
30 seconds left.
to open this side up. But Logic is not falling, and Rosemary isn't either, setting an example for the rest of the map. So High Rise is just forced to teleport away, use that from the shadows, go over to B once again, and try and get that plant off. That arc row's going off, trying to secure that area and mark it before. And we are going to see the Steel Garden as well, backing it off. High Rise loses the gun right in time, and Grifty going up, trying to find something. I think they're aware that Yunjin is there. Gets spotted, peeks from stairs, and Logic finds it.
Yeah, just heard that one thorn go off. That audio cue enabled them to know, hey, they've crossed past it. Now you just isolate your one, or at least figure out how to make that 2v1 possible. They do so beautifully. BHOP, though, I will say, might have been just a little bit premature on that lockdown. I think you could have held on to it for a second more. You were in a decent spot. You still had the map control. I think you wait until that bomb goes down before you use that ult, and then you have that retake. Because what's the things that we've been talking about? Retakes are tough when you have 4 Sentinels. So if you lose that tool, that round-winning capability in a 3v1 where the Omen ult goes through over towards B and your lockdown space is useless anyway, I don't know. To me, that seems a little bit risky, if you will.
Completely agree. And QX10 once again going on a rampage in mid as Heist falls again, but Logic is going to shut down the raid boss. Just for a moment's notice there, High Rise able to teleport in and get a gun upgrade and just hop out with little to no danger. As Ronin is scaling up, going to be able to clear out Wine here and potentially set up a good split position here to go on to A, but they're going to be running right into Evanadators. Sonar traps there. Oh, just barely caught a glimpse. Ronin trying to go for that long range peek. And just doing a really good job of locking down these sites. Acrylic is so afraid to go in because they have no idea what Sentinel utility is where. Oh, High Rise. Beautiful peek there, Grifty. Ends up the spray from Rosemary, though. Really doing its work. That's why you always need an Odin player here on Ascent. I mean, just able to get those spams through. A lot of the chip damage. Logic, beautiful placement as always, but doesn't end up securing that second one. Now it's a 2v2.
There's an Odin still in the picture, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they catch one bullet onto High Rise. That's just a 2v2 gone to a 2v1.
Oh, but High Rise.
Yep.
I'd get the. Yep, there it is. Ended up being with the Vandal through the wall, but wall bang is a wall bang, and Ronin only has the Sheriff to work with, and Rosemary's going to end up getting that last laugh and getting 1 point closer to that tour de force. Only 2 left to go as we're entering round 11. 7-3, BHOP ahead.
Mistakes. Again, right? You have your 1 HP player peek from lane. Not
With
the choice I would have went with.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a semi-crossfire, but if anything, you should be having your market player holding that angle, and then the lane player can peek off them, right? Obviously, they're still going to be swinging into maybe 1-2 people, but the chance of you getting spotted, that gun just getting spammed, even from that spot, with you being 1 HP, so strong. So I think BHOP, maybe they just read that play in Acrylic and maybe need to think just a tad more on that scenario, but I get it. It's tough, right? You're down 7-3. There's 4 Sentinels. You don't know what to do. You've never scrimmed this before, but BHOP have found their game plan, and they are sticking to it.
Yeah, and they're popping that lockdown right off the bat here on A, trying to gain some very much needed ground, but Logic is not afraid of it in the slightest. And Grifty, oh my gosh! Again? An ace from Grifty! Through the smoke, barely able to see anything.
Last round.
What are these? Okay, what is BHOP feeding these players that hold the Izodans, Ari? I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, I understand like the lockdown on A part, but like at the same time, isn't B a little bit more efficient in that source, right? The whole point is you're trying to get yourself a free site, free of all of the people that are trying to hold you down. Because what's the one thing that BHOP is gonna do? They're gonna die on site. They're gonna anchor with that one player, and they're just gonna chill up there. They're spray. You know they are. But by popping it on B, at least there's no room for them to play on site. The fact that it goes on A just means that everyone's gonna go up to heaven and still have the same game plan. I'm curious to know what the thought process was there, but at least I think the result was still the same in all of our heads there.
Yeah, and right here, Rosemary pulling out that off without the tour de force. But Eugen's going to end up taking the W on that one, and that Steel Garden might play a huge role as Grifty gets another one, and Heist just pick that one up from Eugen.
Not ready yet. Good hit.
So rough here for Acrylic. I mean, they're really just struggling to get anything done. And, well, we did say that Acrylic, they have to be happy with 3 here. The question is it enough, right? Can they play a flawless enough defensive half to where these Sentinels can't find the value?
Oh, a beautiful timing there from Grifty, able to find second for the round. But ultimately, Evan Adater is going to get the last laugh onto Rice, making it a 9-3 half. That is not bad if you're BHOP, and I mean, like you said, you want to get your 3, but does Acrylic, or I guess does BHOP have the attacking power to be able to make the plays and get onto site against the arguably more versatile team of Acrylic?
Well, I mean, this is the question, right? Because BHOP, like, we kind of expected this scenario. We know they wouldn't just flawless 12-0. Something's going to go wrong in there. And I'm sure BHOP also recognized that themselves. So do they have this plan in place? Do they have some sort of value that's going to get these Sentinels on site? I think if Acrylic decide to play a little bit more aggressive, I think that's where we're gonna see them struggle, because then you lose your utility, you lose your trades, and everything that you're doing to stall them from getting out on site. That's your advantage, and you're throwing it away. QX10 goes down, and that's just 2 picks for BHOP. Make it 3. See, they don't even need the entry on site if you give them a fight in mid.
Yeah, like, working that mid control is the opposite of what you want to do if you're Acrylic there. You know that BHOP's going to be contesting that mid control with every bit that they have, and, I mean, they've been known to be pulling out some pretty insane mechanics, just like they just did there on the pistol run, able to hit those heads, hit their shots, and be very, very quick and methodical with how they're taking space. They created an opening. They were sure that A was going to be the right pick, going through tree, like absolutely no resistance there. And they made those right calls, and I think their game plan is going to be working the map, see where the weakness in their defense is going to be, and hit there, because where they're lacking in attacking power, their ability to hold on to sites is going to be near unrivaled.
I mean, honestly, from Acrylic, I would say hold Ares. Just go with an Ares. Sit in CT and wait for them to flash in or smoke, and then just keep on spraying. You have 2 people on site. What are they going to do? Right? They can't do anything. So by playing in this mid, you're forcing actually BHOP to take a more favorable fight for them, right? If they get trades in mid, that's actually really, really good, because of the fact that, well, that's one less defender they have to deal with on site, spamming them down, and that's additional utility that won't be there.
Yeah, and look at what Acrylic's doing right now. They are just grouping up in market. They're wanting to just play for information here. They're playing full retake on whatever site they end up going on here. The question is that even remotely close to the right move here? And I guess time will just have to tell here. Tyson is making away onto site. There's one, ends up falling to the Stinger. Upgrading that gun to a Vandal. That is not a gun you want to be losing if you're on BHOP. Especially now that you know that they're going to be going up against Stingers here. Didn't buy up. Pistol is going to fall. Yunjin finds one. And now A site is opened up a little bit, but that Killjoy turret is in hell. Could cause a bit of a problem, but it didn't scare Rosemary. Is that going to be an issue? And it is going to be for Grifty. There's one fall. There's 1 kill. 2 kills from Logic. Bryce trying to go in to shut that down and makes it happen be here. But Rosemary up in the back. Going to try and get that trade. Oh, 2 HP left, and it's going to be Rice. That is a win that they desperately needed to get this going, because I think BHOP's economy, it's not perfect, but I think they're going to be able to buy up once again. But, I mean, that was just like a free good set of guns for Acrylic.
Well, I mean, they did force up on that round Acrylic because they were knowing that it was going down to the wire, and if BHOP get guns and they're forced on some sort of other eco, it's just not going to go well for them. But honestly, BHOP, I think they made a mistake there, right? You have that B main space, you know that there's going to be a timing, and Acrylic, they did something very, very risky. They just dry push out of market. I don't think there was a flash. They just choose a timing, they swing, they get the trade. If BHOP find themselves a little bit more there, 2-3 more players, and they just go out through that smoke, or even just wait for it to fade on down, hold the angle of market, you're going to be doing just okay. However, High Rise find themselves in the next round doing just okay with the first pick of this one.
Yeah, Rosemary wanted to go up, try and get some information. Ends up rendezvousing out. Wanted to pull that sound cue, try and get someone to pick through, and not really sure what that was over there, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Rosemary seems to be wanting to get some attention here, get someone to peek out in mid, and might just get their wish from Jin, but backed off a little bit too early if that was the case. God, Heist is gonna get scanned once again. 14 seconds out of this round that they see. KO is the ultimate enemy of this team, just able to shut everything down, but Grifty just hits those, I suppose. There's that Molly coming through, and High Rise once again able to shut that down, but Rosemary is going to get that trade off. It's 3v3 now. Grifty is just going to spraying through. Judge comes out, but High Rise knows about it. That's a 3K for High Rise. Dodging the flash as well, and it's an ace from High Rise. That's what you need for Acrylic to get this momentum going. Beautiful shots.
Hey, if they can get an ace, then we can too. I mean, this has been a fun one. Grifty with an ace now, High Rise as well, and
QX10
yeah.
at 5K. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a good match so far, I would say.
Acrylic, though, you have to wonder, right? You mentioned that KO, and I completely forgot about it. Like, yes, you think, oh, of course they have a KO. It's Ascent. But, like, did we really see anything that was like... Yeah, did we really see anything that was like, oh, let's try and weaponize our KO. If we just go for a sight hit with our KO knife, we're going to be a lot more successful. And that's where the fast hits work. And the fact that I don't really remember any of those happening, I would say means there is an error in the game plan of Acrylic in the first place.
No, I agree. And if we look at the scoreboard, I don't think that the null command ever really came online for Rice there. That was able to gain that much of an effect, and that is going to be devastating for Evan 8-8er, but able to get one nonetheless. Rosemary cleans that one up. It's a 2v1 here. But going back to KO, I didn't really ever see a null command come online that was able to bombard BHOP there, which honestly really would have been an absolute killer. That would have been an insane weapon for Acrylic to use, but ultimately I think that the performance of Rice really just was hindering the possibility there. High Rise able to TP past that wall. Rosemary does end up falling. It's a 1v1 here. Gonna be really close. There's that smoke fading, and High Rise clutches out yet another round for Acrylic, keeping them on the board and not letting BHOP reach 11 rounds.
Clutch.
I don't like this. I mean, High Rise, props to you, right? You get an ace the previous round, you get a nice 1v2 clutch here. I think that BHOP, they just played that 2v1, they find themselves that success. Like, obviously, right, we say, well, you have a 2v1, you should always win. Most of the time, right? Sometimes Acrylic and High Rise, they just pull these magical wins out of thin air, but still, it feels like you really have to be flawless in those situations if you're BHOP, because you don't really have much else to get your momentum going. You really just have to rely on those fights to go your way. It's not like you can have the better game plan, because, well, that's not going to work. What are you going to do? Run 4 Sentinels on site? Congrats. You've found yourself an Odin, and you're dead.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much how it goes. And From the Shadows is back online, and it looks like BHOP has gone back to their original pistol round strat of working mid, going to try and find some opening picks, and Acrylic just is not biting yet. I mean, QX10 has that operator, wanted to peek into mid and try and find something, but Jin is going to end up falling to Heist. Didn't end up doing too much damage, didn't want to pop that over. Oh, did end up popping that over heal, but falls regardless. QX10 putting that operator in that 4,700 credits to good use, but Grifty.
Ooh, good
Try and
fake.
keep those numbers good. Rosemary equalizing or putting them up ahead. Avinator, where was High Rise looking there?
I mean, it was a great play from the KO. Like, you bait the sound away, but then just didn't look in the right direction, right? It didn't have the crosshair placement set up, and that's going to allow for the lurks to come on through. And that's the plan for this BHOP team. They're going to work the map. They're going to find the space, and, well, Rosemary's even going to take down the op. So nothing to leave the round with here for Acrylic as they drop one more. Now BHOP finally to 11 after a few rounds trickle on through. But I think BHOP, they've got plenty of weapons to work with here. Look at those ults.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the Not Dead Yet's online. The Tour de Force is on. Well, I guess the Tour de Force probably isn't going to get used this round as Rosemary's picking up an op from the shop anyway, as they are pretty much rolling in dough at this point. But that lockdown is going to come in very, very handy.
There.
I'm just wondering how Acrylic is going to respond to this. They have to start farming those ultimate orbs and getting that null command online as soon as possible, because ultimately, if they want to stay in, they have to be making big plays like that to shut down all that sentinel utility. You pop one null command in the right place, and then basically for 24 seconds after that, you basically have sentinels that just turn into CS players without utility.
Also, I just want to point out, really, the line that the chamber was on from BHOP originally, that was the full A main line. Just had A main control, had an off angle. I mean, you're really trying to hold all that space, and you can do that with BHOP because Acrylic, they are too afraid to take risks because it'd be silly for them to just push on out, send in a lurk because someone will be holding them. So BHOP can now afford to go for a 4-man hit, one player just holding the rest of the map, and, well, they will here, although the attacker lockdown doesn't find any value, QX10 will with the Blade Storm, and that's the pick onto the lurker Rosemary holding down all that space.
Yeah, those smokes really came in handy, and that's what you really like to see out of these team compositions. I mean, they didn't go 5 Sentinels. They at least covered their bases with blocking sight lines, but are they going to be ready for QX10 coming in through the back? Ended up setting off that alarm bot. They know somebody's flanking, and a bit of a missed dart there is not too much of an issue for Jet. Ronin's able to find one as well. Evan 8 Rice able to pick up something in the back. Grifty with that. Odin again, once again through the smoke. It's Grifty. Just laying down the law. It's ridiculous. And going for more, running after Yunjin, and ends up finding it with the classic of 4K once again for Grifty, putting it into match point for BHOP here. And only one ultimate was used that entire round. They still have the Tour de Force. They still have the Not Dead Yet. But look at that. Look at that, Ari. The null command is live and ready to be used by Rice there. Hopefully they realize just how powerful that's going to be against the ultimate, the utility team of BHOP.
I guess my thought is, how do you use it here, right? Because at the same time, if you just pop that null command, they're just going to cancel, right? And that's the struggle anyway. But the tough part is for BHOP trying to get on site in the first place. So if you use it for retake, you're kind of denying them the fact that they've already had to struggle through. Now, this is a great play, however. Hunter's Fury invested towards a B main, and that's a bait setup. Now, Evan still manages to pick up, I believe, the op kill. That's make that 2. I mean, this is an absurd moment. They are just swinging. They say, if you're going to give us these ones, I don't care. I'm going to jiggle you. But no, goes down this time. Still, Tour de Force available, though. So not all the operators taken out of the picture.
Yeah, able to pick that one up as well, and it looks like Logic might be going for it, but Heist taking down Ronin, not wanting to leave that alone, and pick me up. Might have been timed wrong and looking the wrong direction there, popping the Not Dead Yet, making it basically a 3v1 right now. Make that a 2v1 if
Spike planted.
Yunjin doesn't get creative here, and it looks like Yunjin is hanging back.
One enemy remaining.
The Not Dead Yet run out, and there it goes. Now it's an even 1v1 here. Lockdown is available for Yunjin to try and save this round here. Needs to be very careful how they play this. Smoke's still coming through, and some unsureness in Yunjin, but really isn't afraid to just push past these smokes, clearing the angles that they're supposed to. But Logic in B main with that Odin. This is going to be a tough one for Acrylic. Molly's wait for those, and they're getting popped, and so much damage there. That Odin is going to be devastating with that wallbang. And immediately call on the GG, but there's no time left to defuse the spike, and there it is.
Attackers win.
13-6. BHOP takes ascent.
Well,
there you go. That was a 4 Sentinel single controller comp on Ascent. Meta approved.
Well, not only that, they won.
They won.
They won.
They won significantly.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Like, I get it, right?
Okay,
That's
Now, I will say the scoreline doesn't say it's close, but if you look back at all the rounds, there's only like a handful, maybe 5 max, where more than 2 players from BHOP were alive at the end of each round. Their economy definitely suffered a lot in terms of having to rebuy a bunch of utility, but it still was fairly even kill-wise, I believe. I'm not sure if we're going to have a scoreboard peak here, but we'll look at that here in a minute. But Artie, you seem a little bit unsure about something.
I'm gonna disagree because here's my thought. BHOP, that's kind of the plan they're going for, right? The whole point is that player's supposed to anchor down with their setup, use all that utility as what they can bait off of, right? Typically, instead of bait setups where somebody's in a corner and somebody's going, "Ooh, look at me," it's instead I'm gonna use my utility, peek off of it, and essentially die. So by getting at least 1 pick, maybe 2, doing some of that chip damage onto the next, you're finding value. You are using your life and actively getting more value for just one person. That's why I think those rounds looked closer, but the game plan was completely there. And I think the reason why I say it wasn't really that close is because BHOP, the only rounds that they lost were when they made those massive mistakes of, oh, our game plan is off, or, oh, we lost a 1v3, or we let High Rise just get an ace and do some magical things, or we threw a 1v2. But other than that, like, it really just was BHOP stomping, in my opinion.
So in your opinion, they just had complete control of the game.
Do I think it should have been that way? No, but that's how it played out in my mind.
Understandably so, and I'm going to agree with you on 90% of that. I think there were a couple more mistakes that BHOP made in there in terms of just like more nitpicking things that I'd have to go back through my notes and look at, but ultimately we don't need to worry about that. And I think we're having a couple issues pulling up the scoreboard, but I've got a screenshot of it here. Grifty, 22-10, 3 assists, 2 first bloods, 311 ACS here, and I believe like half of those were through smokes. with an Odin with an Odin or an Ares to be in particular, which is just insane. Like on Ascent, you typically see like a Sova or something like playing the Odin player over on B, shooting the dart, shooting him through the wall, which also on one of those last rounds, I don't know if everybody noticed, Grifty saw the dart come through window and immediately started counter spraying Sova and put the Sova down to 34 HP through the wall. Ronin to be in particular there, which I thought was just the most ridiculous thing to do. But ultimately it is not done yet. For either of these teams, it's still a best of 3. We still have another map to get to. And that one is going to end up being, oh, sorry, I lost it. It is going to be Icebox with Acrylic on the defense to start out here. It's a bit of a flip. Icebox, still kind of a controversial map. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm a hater. But we're going to see what these teams can pull out. And if BHOP pulls something else out on Icebox like they did on Ascent, it's going to be hilarious. But we're going to come back after about 5 minutes to see what they can pull out. So stick around. Don't click off. We'll be right back.
Stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. No relation. We got no relation. It's crazy. And it goes like
running round like dollars in the wind, bending over backwards just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. You were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the putting in
After you
Welcome back to the Luxe series. We just got off of a heater of a match, 13-6 BHOP over Acrylic on Ascent, but it is not over yet in this best of 3. We have Icebox coming up next it is BHOP's pick, so we might be seeing some spicy stuff out of them as Acrylic is going to be running up the defense starting this one out as opposed to starting on the offense on Ascent. Now, the question is, are we going to see a weird pick coming out of BHOP on Icebox like we saw on Ascent? Because Ascent wasn't even BHOP's pick, and they had a weird comp for it that probably was planned. This one is BHOP's pick, so I almost guarantee they have a team planned out here. But what kind of goofy stuff are they going to bring to the table here? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But Ari, any thoughts overall?
I mean, we were cooking a little bit off broadcast, and here's something I was just thinking. I was like, okay, based off the playstyle we just saw, totally I could see that Harbor Viper, that double controller that we used to see a lot, and the reason we don't really see it anymore is because the aggressive playstyle has kind of taken over with that Sova taking over A main, and then, the controllers kind of become useless at that point because instead of denying them from working that space, they're just immediately taking it instead, and that's beneficial instead. But still, I think you see Harbor Viper, then a Clove on top, along with a KJ and a Sova. I think that could just do some shenanigans that BHOP could work with. I don't know. I'm speculating, but after last map, I don't think there really is anything that we could say we aren't going to see here on this map, except 5 duelists.
Yeah, it's kind of just fish in a barrel right now. I would definitely weed out 5 duelists and 5. Actually, I wouldn't weed out 5 initiators.
Yeah.
But these two teams are getting geared up and getting ready to go as we're going to be hopping into the agent select and being gifted with whatever BHOP has been cooking up here. And I'm immediately seeing Evanator hovering Reyna, Heist hovering Neon. Neon, not a pick that I would be surprised. Oh gosh, please don't.
Oh,
they weren't trolling last time. Oh no. Okay, so High Rise ended up picking up Jet. Right. Okay. Sorry. So, I just lost it for a second. Ronin is going to be running up Viper. Logic hovering. What is this team?
Surely right? Surely
they don't. Surely not.
I mean, even Acrylic is a little bit weird. They do manage to, finally pull through that Sentinel. And then Jet Reyna, that's a little bit more normal. With a Chamber even is fine. BHOP, don't do it. It's definitely a troll.
It's gotta be. Like, no. It's gotta be. Now, like...
No. Okay, there's 3. At least have a Sova. At least have a Sova or a Viper or a Harbor, right?
Have something to scan, please. No, Grifty! What is happening? Watch, they're gonna have 1 initiator or they're gonna have Clove.
No, at this point. Oh yeah, I can see the Clove pick actually. The Clove would make sense.
But Logic doesn't lie. Logic is hovering right now and goes for the Jet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ari has caster cursed BHOP into picking duel. Oh, okay, Ari's leaving. I guess I shall too. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? This is utter chaos.
Okay.
If this works out, Ari, you want to? Are we allowed to place wagers? Like live? Is that like a thing we can do?
I mean, I know we're not supposed to swear on broadcast, but like if that's somehow 5 duelist wins, like that's...
I'm old enough.
I'm inserting the censor
in which I live. So the question is, Ari, how much you want to put that they win?
Well, they're on attack.
Do you think they're gonna win on their attacking side? Do you think they're gonna be up and round?
I say the best that BHOP gets here is 7. I say that's the best they get.
Okay.
Ironically, I think they will do better on their defensive half. Ironically.
I think they run 9. I think they do a 9-3 half, and I think that it ends... I think Acrylic is going to end up winning this just based off of better versatility, but also we saw them win with 4 Sentinels on Ronin, Logic. Okay. Trading it out 1 for 1. But presence has been known, and the entirety of Acrylic is on A, but, I mean, the duelists, they're just all over the place. I mean, like, Heist all the way up in Tube here. Like, the rest of the team is going over towards B, and it looks like Acrylic is just stampeding down A, clearing this out.
I will say,
Just
BHOP
vibes
are
out, but
completely in Acrylic's head. Like, you see 5 duelists on the other team. As soon as you see any sort of aggression, you assume that's a 5-man hit. Because they'd be silly to just go on and fake or even just lurk anywhere else. But the fact that they did just means BHOP have layers upon layers to this mental chess game. High Rise with 1 here. But now, BHOP, what are you going to do here in this 3v4? Well, die, looks like.
Yep. Well, yeah, apparently dying. Yunjin going from the back, where Grifty's going to be able to pick up 1 before getting put down. And Rosemary, last one alive there. Are they going to be able to make the hit? Nope, they run out of ammo, and High Rise finds a 3K there, and Acrylic is going to end up picking up the pistol round there against the 5-stack duelist team.
Sweet.
It feels so weird saying that.
I mean, their defense is going to be full retake, right? Like, that's what
It's
you
gotta
like,
be. It's
full
gotta
retake with maybe a lurk here or there. And okay, here's the content script that we're going for here. I think BHOP, they get 4 rounds on defense, or 4 rounds on attack, excuse me.
Okay.
8-4 half, and then they just win 12-4. BHOP. Or it's 12-8. That's what it is.
12-8,
Yeah, that's
okay.
math.
Okay, so so you think they're gonna get like
I
8
just
rounds?
think-
You think they're gonna get 8 rounds in a row on defense?
Yep. I just feel like that's just how it goes, or 13 or whatever.
Well, you
math.
know, they are a wild card team, so, you know, I guess nothing's really out of the question here. But QX10 is going to be able to find the first pick onto there. High Rise finding the second on Evan88er and finding Grip. Shutting down basically this entire push, forcing Rosemary and Logic.
down
Logic does
A.
fall. Rosemary having to back off and go around. Doesn't have that shield up anymore. But it has a Marshall. And willing to try something out, and is going to land a hit, but not going to get the kill as Flawless comes out from QX10 and their 3K. As Acrylic picks up the second round. I think what you're saying with an 8-4 half, I think it's going to be very feasible. I think it's plausible that's going to happen. I just don't know how BHOP is going to make. I don't know how they're gonna pull this one through with just retakes on defense.
Well, here's the bigger thought, right? You can't slam B because you have no smokes. So you have to slam A, if anything. Or you insert those lurks, or you take it up mid, go for some scrappy fights there, but none of those are favorable. I mean, those are just kind of scramble fights. Now, this presence towards B main is going to get the chamber off the angle, but surely they don't commit to this B site, right? Because that's going to drag over rotates. I mean, Heist even goes down in mid. That's your speed. Like, your smokes as a jet. That's it. You're playing retake here, or post-plant here, just hoping the bomb goes down. Rosemary has gotten 2 make it 3.
3.
Huh?
Jinx, you owe me a soda there. That shield has recharged there. QX10 trying to do something here to bring this round back in their favor. Gonna end up finding Evan88er and Rosemary. And now it's seeming more feasible here. It's a 2v2. Flashed out. Logic finds it with the Bucky. High Rise is able to find Grifty in the back and able to secure it against Logic there. Leaving 1 alive. Beautiful anti-eco there from BHOP, but I do apologize. It is hard to take this map seriously. Like, what is happening with this team?
As the creative director here at Luxe, I'll give you a pass because honestly, I'm doing the same here. Okay, I'll give you a little insight as to the thought process. So like, we imagined
like haha funny. Like what?
No, I'm saying like, in terms of Luxe, right? We wanted this to be kind of like this Valorant show series, and well, it didn't quite turn out as we wanted to, as you know, that would be a very, very large jump from what we've previously had in the scene. But BHOP, they're kind of proving that content can still be here in a professional environment with competitive integrity. Now, is it going to work for them? We'll have to see, but these are the kind of things that we are finding entertaining as viewers, but now, how can we work the game around it? And, well, if BHOP proves that they are capable of doing so, then I have a feeling we're going to be seeing them plenty of times.
Yeah, and immediately they do have the upper hand here with that player advantage, winning that ISO domain expansion 1v1 there, and Evan88er. Got Reyna duel against QX10. Heist finding Tams as well. Last one alive here, High Rise. Was able to clutch it out last round, but can they clutch it out this time? Evan88er barely saving their head there. crouching below, and Rosemary a little bit stumbled there on the rope, but ends up finishing it out either way. There's BHOP's first round. They are on the board, and they saved 4 Vandals going into the next.
I mean, BHOP, we kind of talked about how do they get rounds on the board here, and it is those scrappy fights, right? I mean, I could even say the play being you neon wall up mid, right? You just run it down, you have 3 players go towards that space, and then you cut noise, right? Now Acrylic has to re-clear you out, and they do have that utility, you know, with the 2 duelists, with the Sova as the initiator, but that's still very, very heavy of a gamble because now you don't know what you're running into. Is it an ISO with a shield on? Is it or with a judge coming out of Dimensional Drift? You just don't know here. It's a solid timing, footstep made, and well, that's going to be Rosemary going down. That's the wild card taken out, and BHOP, best of luck in this 2v5.
Drifty in the back has that Dimensional Drift, and the judge is going to end up paying off there, taking the gate crash just in the nick of time. Having to back off, and now really caught between a rock and a hard place there as QX10 finishes off Grifty. And Heist, last one alive here. I'm surprised they're not going to farm that ultimate orb. Probably don't want to get peeked and prodded there. Now last one alive in a 1v4. Tams is the only one really in danger of getting killed off very quickly here. What can Heist pull out in the last 50 seconds? And like to make that clear here, every single one of these rounds is probably going to be over within 45 seconds of just how intense and how quick BHOP has to react. Yeah, there's the Neon ult coming through and completely blind. Tams able to close that one out. I'm a little bit in shock there. That was a perfectly timed flash there from QX10, potentially saving the entire well, gee, I don't know, probably would have caused Acrylic a heart attack had that not worked out in their favor, because a Neon Overdrive is terrifying.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in a 1v3, you're like, okay, just play numbers, we win. That Neon's fast, bro. That Neon goes
Overdrive, don't play around.
Right through your bullets. I mean, yeah, and now not being slowed down when getting hit by a bullet, really, really important, because players still aren't quite adapted to that yet, right? Neon still is kind of coming into the meta. We're still seeing new ways that Neon has been adjusted here. Now, oh boy, Rosemary, best of luck to you on that ISO, and does at least force out the TP. That's a pinch onto the chamber, but hello, there's one more player here. There's the dink out from the Phantom, and Ronin with 2 solid kills, giving Acrylic the numbers here. Heist will fall down in mid, and yeah, this aggressive playstyle is actually working for Acrylic as opposed to BHOP, as they find themselves constantly in that numbers advantage.
Yeah, and Ebonadator might not be ready for this flank. Seems to get a little bit of a hint of Spidey sense going off there. Might need to start checking back there a little bit more often. High Rise wanting to inch in here and get back onto site, group up and crossfire with the team, as it is a 3v2. It's still winnable for Ebonadator, and there it is, finding 1-2 on site here as QX10 falls as well. Now it's just down to Tams. The 1v2 here, and Logic from the back is going to be able to find that one. Headshot right in the back, securing the second round. BHOP is still on the board, only 2 rounds down, even though it seems like such an insane gap there. And I agree with you. I think Acrylic definitely might have inadvertently gotten the upper hand from the aggressiveness, because they're able to pop into those off angles there, especially with Chamber being able to just inch up, get the first pick out there. And the only real danger to Chamber with that op is really just ISO's double tap, which he can just teleport away and rendezvous after 1 shot.
Yeah, I mean, Acrylic, right, they're trying to play aggressive in the sense that, well, if you aggress into the aggressors, you're going to catch them off guard in some way, shape, or form, but that means holding down your ground on the opposite side, right? And they're rotating off, and that's why you see them struggling. Heist is going in for more, and gets 2, almost gets the 3rd, but instead decides to maybe speed it up, instead going down there. But Acrylic, I mean, they've got this Viper's Pit over towards A, and they have no space towards B. That's where we're seeing this struggle.
Yeah, Rosemary is able to find QX10, giving them the player advantage there. Acrylic now has to abandon that Viper's Pit and has to try and work the map a little bit more. Rosemary is going to fall, evening it back out to a 2v2. High Rise still has a decent bit of utility, still has 2 smokes, updraft, has light shields, but ultimately those shields aren't going to matter from a headshot regardless. And now that Spike is planted, it's all on Acrylic to make the move here. Getting those rotates in. That wall might be devastating there for BHOP, but it worked in their favor. Logic able to find High Rise, and now Rona's last one left, and caught out by the Evan 8-8er. Man, it looks like BHOP might have just found the secret. Run in, poke and prod, get all the rotates out, rotate back, and just have good aim, I guess.
I'm trying to analyze that Viper wall really, really quickly. I mean, look at where it was placed. It was kind of cutting B's site in half, and you would assume that's to allow for those defenders to kind of rotate in post plant, just to get all of that snowman control and site control, and maybe even spam the bomb as it's going down. But you already have that space, and popping it up actually just makes it a lot tougher now, because you've given all of those defenders that yellow control. You don't know which angle they're going to peek from, and so that is a little bit risky. Now Ronin taking a risk of their own, but will not find any sort of headshots, so BHOP will get into that mid, and hey, it's the strat that I called like round 2.
Yeah, there it is. High stable to find one before getting picked off once again by QX10, but backing up here, that Bucky is not going to be very favorable, but QX10 is quick with the trigger, able to find one. Grifty trying to even these back up, and ultimately finds it against Ronin. Not good placement for Logic. QX10 finding that, and High Rise now having the ability to go back, pick up a better weapon, and go into the next, and Grifty falls as... Oh, QX10 just aced! There was so much happening that I apologize, QX10. Once again, another 5K, and this one's actually an ace. Let's go.
Hey, actually get the title this time. Congrats. BHOP, I mean, the play was right. The play was correct, right? They made the right decision there, but then you get a little bit too stuck up in mid, right? The plan is you get over towards that B side, and then you cut noise, or you at least get your kills, which they did manage to do, but then you plant the bomb, then you plant for post plant, because that's this map. Right, although you don't have the utility to stall it out with mollies and stuff like that, the fact that you have a flash and you just everybody swing, you just force that fight, that is the benefit of 5 duelists. You're saying, hey, we're gonna use our bodies to check every single angle. Heist now, the overdrive working this time for a little bit more value than it did last time. Evan 8-8er as well finding a pick, but now Acrylic forced off of their site, and that's where we're seeing the 5 duelists looking strong. The overdrive certainly a valuable piece of this, and almost wanting more. I thought, no, maybe exiting out towards screens, but no.
Yeah, wanted to go out there again, but it looks like the overdrive did run out. Still has weapons to work with there, so not completely out of the fight. Tams is trying to get some chip damage off. They know Heist might be a little bit low. Rosemary able to find Ronin in the back.
Enemy remaining.
And Rosemary once again able to find yet another. So much value just out of this, and
NT.
Hey, NT. Going to, that's the flawless from BHOP there. And Dimensional Drift once again online. See, these duelists, they're able to just rotate out their ultimates so quick. Because, I mean, out of every agent in the entire, like, agent pool, duelists have the quickest regenning ultimates. And a lot of them do have very, very good information and a lot of value. Although it might not be as much team value, but in a team full of duelists, I mean, if they're each fragging out enough, it's going to work, right?
Who's next?
I just had a flashback moment to me saying, yeah, surely they don't run 5 duelists.
Yeah, I was gonna make I was gonna make a comment on that earlier. Time being in Heist and Rosemary, just making it quick. Grifty! No! Hold it out. Ronin Tams able to bring it back. Now it's a 1v2, and we are less than 10 seconds into the round. Make that less than 15 seconds to a round ending as Rosemary closes that one out, tying it up 5-5. It is looking significantly more promising for BHOP now, and I think your prediction just kind of went out the window there, Ari.
Well, I had 2 predictions. That's why you make 2. I said they would get
never
4.
lose. Yeah, you can.
Right.
First you said 7, and then you said 4. So it's got to land in the middle of those, right?
No, I think it's going to be either one of the 2. So I think we're just going now for them, BHOP, to just win out the half. I mean, look at their economy.
Yeah, their economy is snowballing a bit. Yeah, it is not looking good.
They can get a 7.
They have protocols for this, but QX10 and High Rise, they seem to be clapping back just as well. But ultimately, QX10 needs to get another pick here, down to 20 HP. But now it's a 2v4 here.
Last player
Grifty close it out. Now that high-low, too powerful. Tams finds it, and Rosemary on the back end. What are they going to be able to find here? They found High Rise, but now gave away their position.
And don't have the bump.
And yeah, they don't have the spike. They don't have really anything that they need. High Rise did get tagged down. Some chip damage was done, and 2 of the players from Acrylic, they are very low here, but what can come? And it's not much. Tams Finds a second for the round and closes that one out. Now it's 6.
Last
Best they
round
can hope
in
for
the
is
half.
6-6. So we are falling right in between your predictions there, Ari.
I bet 7-5 for the other team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Acrylic here. How do you counter shenanigans? You do some shenanigans of your own. And what they did,
No, agreed.
they had 3 people holding mid. I mean, they read the mid push, which is fair, right? I mean, if you want to play retake on B, on A, go for it. You have your chamber, you can post up on B main. That's your free information there. As for the rest of your team, they should be chilling over towards mid, towards A. That's where you're going to be brawling a little bit more. And you have that utility to get out. You have the Viper Toxic screen by pushing in front of that. That's kind of your way out, gone. But, well, playing a passive angle this time is chamber. A little bit interesting, especially with the rifle not even an operator.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match here, and Grifty's going to be going for that spike plant. There's the Hunter's Fury being popped, going to try and play
timing.
that. And beautiful timing there from Roseberry, able to shut down High Rise and really opening up the backside of this, but QX10 on the flank, able to find Heist. Just really wanting to go ham here, having to push Logic off that backside of Yellow with that operator. Evan88 able to find the trade, and Tams finding one back. Now it's even 3v3. Make that 3v2 as Logic finds QX10, but not aware of Ronin. Keeps perfectly moving, but ultimately doesn't have enough space. There's that recon bolt coming out.
What?
And ultimately it is going to be a 7-5 for Acrylic.
Well,
Beautiful shots there, and you were right. It is a 7-5. It's just a little bit backwards there, but BHOP is putting up a really good fight, and we'll see how they can do on the defending side.
look at that. I mean, BHOP, all things considered, that's a decent half. I mean, I know that these are probably things that they've cooked up, but at the same time, how much can you really plan for with 5 duelists? Like, you can't have
A solid
protocols
couple
of...
things.
You can plan for if somebody dies, but that's about it. Like, it's not, okay, we're going to use this utility, then this utility, then this utility. You don't have smokes. That all goes out the window, right? You have to be looking at every angle at every time. So these comms, really, are the most important thing for BHOP. And the fact that they've gotten 5 means they have solid comms, so I will give them props there where they are due. Acrylic, though, we can't put this past them. They're still winning. Like, as much as we talk about BHOP and how they've managed to get to 5, Acrylic is still dealing with all of this and still winning. So, like, props to them as well.
Yeah, I think BHOP might be winning the fan favorite here for tactics, but ultimately Acrylic is putting the work in there as we're seeing QX10 going in very fast and able to secure the first pick of the half here. And Ronin gets the second, completely opening up the site here, but Eminator and Logic, they are not afraid to strike back and strike back fast, but Logic is very, very low on HP. Eminator not done yet. Heist is going in as well. Yunjin finally able to try and even these out. Now it's a 2v2.
Last player
Getting the
standing.
flank around, but Heist finds QX10 before the full wrap comes in. There's 50 seconds
heard that.
left. Spike is planted and Logic sees it. Can they get the headshot? And they find the clutch from Yunjin, securing the pistol round with 10 HP remaining.
Oh, man. I'm gonna be honest, BHOP, you had that. I mean, they tossed it away. I mean, pistol round, you whiff some shots, that's what happens. But hey, maybe we see that start to snowball. This map could be completely different now because of that one pistol round. I mean, that is so important. Yeah, it's so important. BHOP, you get that one, you have the gun advantage, and then you can play a little bit scrappier. But look at what we saw in that round, right? Acrylic, although they get the first blood, they try and go on site. BHOP, their plan is always, hey, let's just flood in. Let's just overwhelm them with our numbers. Because that's how you play eco round. And that's how you play when you don't have as much utility. Well, BHOP, they've recognized that, and they are playing it perfectly in terms of that fundamental.
Yeah, and there's some great coordination there from High Rise, able to pick out Grifty in the back. And Logic getting swung from the side as well. That's great comms coming out from the side of Acrylic, and great aim from High Rise, able to take out Evan88 alive here. The 1v5. Not completely unexpected here. I mean, weapons are better for Acrylic, but is Heist going to be able to pull something out of the bag, out of the magic hat? Just flicking around, making sure they're not getting flanked there, but...
Having a little fun with it.
Yeah, just, you know, well, I mean, you're playing 5 duelists. You got to have a little bit of... Pull some 360s. They're hoping for that, for a clip here.
5-man collat with a Bucky.
Yeah,
Feeling
that's
it.
what they're hoping for there. The spike is going to go off regardless here, and
Oh
Looks like
my.
they're going. Oh my golly gee. And Acrylic finds the second round of the half, but now they got to go up against the superior weaponry of BHOP in the hands of some absolute monster duelists here. I mean, Rosemary, Heist, and Evanadator putting in some solid work, but I mean, look at QX10 though, 17 and 8, really throwing it down on site and really evening up those odds there. Logic is opting to go for the Outlaw. It's not going to be amazing there, as Acrylic has bought up 2 full shields here. That is going to be that could result in a couple issues, but there is some chip damage there from Heist that could prove very helpful. QX10 low, down a bit. Drone comes out. Not going to find much info before having to get backed off here, but one thing that is not abusing here is that they have so much more utility to go on site. Ronan able to find Grifty, and Advanadator is going to be able to even those odds out. Back to a 4v4 here, but Ronan is all the way in their spawn.
Really booked it.
Yeah, really wanted to play off that timing, and I think Logic here. I think Logic is aware that Ronan is very close by and is going to find the head with the Outlaw. That might be a game changer for the entire team, as Acrylic is having to double back over to A. They don't have the timing anymore. They don't have the spacing into collapse. Rosemary and a 3K to close it out. 9 and 6, saving 4 rifles. That is not the best bonus for Acrylic that you're looking for there.
There was a glimmer of hope.
There was a glimmer of hope, and they had some ideas there, but I mean, come on, Logic hitting that shot, kind of nuts.
No scope headshot. It has to be a headshot in that case, because I believe that. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it was chipped down a little bit.
There was chip damage, but it was a headshot. Like in the kill feed, it was a headshot. So.
Final bullet too, right? You only get 2, and the fact that you hit the second one while just jiggling a corner. The first one's a panic shot, and then you set yourself up. You get the next one going down for a kill. I mean, BHOP, right? They have this game plan, and Logic will capitalize on it yet again. Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
Oh no!
Oh no! It is devastating for Acrylic here. Rosemary going for more.
Oh, hello.
Oh no, there's High Rise.
Oh,
and
wait,
not gonna be able to close it out from Rosemary there, but Logic is going in, has the oh no, the short. But High Rise is just a little bit quicker on the trigger. Blade Storm coming out. 49 HP left in the tank here, but both duelists, well, 2 more duelists are on site here, and Grifty did get cleared in the corner. Oh, that's devastating for High Rise, and there goes the Blade Storm too. Not gonna be able to use that on their next round for a save. That is not gonna be great.
I mean, yeah, it is funny that you kind of do see the mentality of BHOP as, all right, let's give him ones, let's go. All right, who's next? You next. And then it's like, well, as much as you do give up the alt orbs and High Rise does pop the Blade Storm, making it doable, like, it feels like almost BHOP win more in that scenario, just out of pure vibes and confidence. Like, the fact that you can do that and just absolutely stomp over Acrylic means that Acrylic are not touching A main for a solid few rounds. And if they do, they're going to find the exact same fate, especially now as they are on an eco.
Yeah, they got to take it a little bit more carefully there. They got to use more utility to stall out those duelists, because what you're going to be expecting on at least one side every single round is just a stomp. And as we're seeing right here, Rosemary and Grifty immediately getting their own and immediately wanted to get out there. Grifty ends up popping that flash once again. It's completely stalling it. Heist able to find QX10, but not before Yunjin is able to try and even those odds. And trades are coming out one after another. 3v1, and it's over for Tams as Grifty finds a nasty 3K. Almost evening the odds once again. 8 and 9, only 1 round down. I think you were very close in your prediction here, Ari.
I mean, hey, that pistol goes a different way. 1 more bullet, and we have BHOP winning every single round on this defense. So 5, it's 7-10. I mean, it's looking pretty close. So, Acrylic, though, I mean, they did get that pistol, but now they're trying to find ways into these sites. And honestly, you know you're going to lose this A site, right? Like, that's just, okay, off rip, there's going to be 3 duelists they're going to be fighting for it. But you still have to use that dart. You still have to at least provide some capabilities. And, well, this play, they change up their setup. Heist aggresses towards B main, and, well, that's kind of a bit of a blunder, right? You should have just been doing the same thing you have been, because it's been working. No need to really hot fix it. If nothing's broken, Rosemary goes down as well, and Acrylic find a way right back into this game.
Yeah, and Grifty trying to even the scales here in the back. Isn't going to be able to find it. Torn between too many different angles. There's QX10. Is going to be going on a rampage once again. And High Rise finds the final kill. But they did deny the flawless there. Now 2 rounds down. Acrylic has hit the double digits here. Are they going to be able to pull this one back and bring us to a map 3? We'll have to wait and see. But once again, I mean, BHOP, their economy's a bit damaged here, but they got some left in the reserves. Like, what, Ari, in your opinion, what does Acrylic really need to be focusing on here to pull the win out of BHOP? Because it seems like they keep making the same mistake almost round after round.
I think they go 4-1. I think 4-1. Simple as that, right? You try and isolate this B player because you know the aggression's going to be towards A. You hope that they make a mistake, and maybe they get 1. I mean, Grifty here is just going to fake the rotate off, does get 1 and gets out. And that is the danger of trying to go for that play. But that's why you have that Sova utility. You have the drone and you're not seeing them be super diligent because they're trying to contact it. But you know BHOP is just going to mass rotate anyway. They don't have a sentinel. It doesn't matter if you're lurking. They're going to just try and clear you as a unit anyways.
Yeah, and we're seeing the tap of the spike there, but ultimately it's not going down. Logic doesn't want to overplay things. There may be an aggression coming in here. It might be a 5-man push right into the shorty. But the point blank apparently does not hit, and Rosemary's going crazy right now. But Yunjin is going to be clapping back a bit. Last down to a 1v2. These rounds are insane, Ari. And Rosemary's going to find the 3rd off of there. That was beautiful coordination there from Rosemary and Heist with those stuns and the peaks with that ISO shield. It's quite nuts just how well BHOP is making this. They've clearly practiced this 5-man icebox.
I mean, you have to wonder at this point then what are they cooking for the rest of the maps? Like, are these straps? Well,
like,
not only
is this universal? Like, what is happening?
Well, here's the other thing then too. Is it something that is replicatable, right? Is this something that just because these plays are catching them by surprise, that's the only reason they're winning this match? Like, if there was time for Acrylic to VOD review this game and then go for a rematch, would you see the same result? Grifty is not going to find anything here as the B aggression. It was changed up, but you still fall down.
Yeah, they're making such micro adjustments there to their B aggression. It seems to be working out as we're seeing the Viper's Pit and Tour de Force being used
Spike planted.
this round here. I'm not sure how the Viper's Pit is going to work out along with the Tour de Force. It might be a toughie there for Yunjin, and it almost gets out, but ultimately Heist is going to fall. Ronan is in a prime position there, trying to take somebody off guard, and there's just a stomp in. There's Logic, able to find Tams tapping the spike. Rosemary finding QX10. High Rise trying to even these out, able to find a second on the Evanadator. Ronan's still alive. Viper's Pit hasn't gone down. It's a 2v2 here. And High Rise, looking for Logic there, but there's Heist. Tapping the spike, and so low on health. That Molly is devastating there, but they used 2 ultimates that round. And BHOP didn't really respond with any ultimates of their own. And now they have the kill contract and Empress available to be used here. Can they bring this back without having to bring it to overtime?
I mean, I don't know if this was the plan there, but I think you do try and farm up that kill contract and then just ult into the Viper's Pit, hope to grab that Viper, because that means you get that kill, the Viper's Pit goes down, and you have yourself a much better situation if you're 5 duelists, we'll put it that way. But I don't want to see this ult be used off rip. That's the only thing I don't want to see. And it was.
And it was used immediately. Yep. And there's the immediate kill there from Evanadator. Looks like the duelists have swapped it up a bit, allowed for a kill and get out. But ultimately, that Heist slide is not going to work out in their favor. Logic is going to be able to find the kill onto there, evening up those trades. Or, I guess, getting them the trade advantage there. As Evanadator is now kind of stuck between a rock and yellow right now. As Yunjin is trying to go up and is going to be able to find that kill. Right on to Grifty. And now it's just down to Logic to try and secure. Oh, the spike. It's been left down there. They needs to make sure it's still there. Still 50 seconds left in the round. There's still so much space that could be cleared out and taken as the drone is going out as well. It's going to clear out so far, but is it going to make it? Nope, Logic heard it break. Now they can move on up, scale on up. Is Tams going to be ready for this peek? They saw the barrel of the gun, and there it goes. Tams falls. Logic just waiting for the flank. Beautiful use of the updraft there. So now Yunjin has to look. Oh! This is those edge of your seat plays right there, because Yunjin still has to find the time to get that plant down. Logic isn't sure if it's going to be a fake.
Planted.
Gets confirmation that it is the plant that's gone off, and now Yunjin, almost guaranteed, is going to be going off into yellow there. Now knows the position of the timing. Having to tap. Isn't sure if it's a fake. This team's been so weird.
I think you don't tap anymore. I mean, you really just have to hold that aggressive angle. But now Yunjin, it's going to be so close. Doesn't even get the half. That's going to be...
Half, but is going to be able to find the kill.
At least they tried.
Is it enough?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Bringing BHOP to double digits there. That one, that was an anxious round there.
And I
Ari,
wasn't
that was
even trying.
that was an edge of your seat, clenched up. Just waiting to see what would happen there. Both of those players definitely on edge. Just, oh man, one wrong move there, and ultimately Logic is going to take that win and almost evening it up once again. Acrylic has been keeping the lead, but are they going to be able to keep that up? Oh, look at the econ damage though.
Yeah. I mean, Acrylic, they have the right game plan here, right? It's the same thing.
No
You're playing for getting the bomb down. You don't need to necessarily extend out in the site because you know everybody's just going to swing into you. And you have that Hunter's Fury for the post plant. So why throw your bodies and throw your utility away when you can just get shot A main? Okay, well, that's the same game plan for BHOP, and they are in your spawn within 2 seconds.
Yep, and they're able to get out a better gun there, and Grifty ended up stopping that plant, trying to gate crash out, but isn't going to make it work, but ended up expending some utility
Spike planted.
from Acrylic at the same time. Now Acrylic up in numbers once again, 4v3, but that Blade Storm could be very deadly from high rise. We've seen some magic happen, but it's not going to happen today. Rosemary shuts that down within an instant, and Logic hungry for that fight with Yunjin once again and proves that worthiness. Tam's last one left alive, has the spike down, but Logic not having any of it, and is going to tie that up 11-11 with the worst guns there. I don't know if that's enough to call it a thrifty, but I'm willing to say that was a very scuffed buy that ended up taking the win there.
They were both kind of scuffed buys. If you looked at it, there was like 2 Spectres for each team, something of that sort. But like BHOP, right, we do expect them to go for that aggressive nature, but boy, that
This
was...
is not going to be fun.
That was a lot of
this time
space.
around. Yeah. Like, they are on such a bad buy right now. It is not going to be fun for them to go up against this just
Hold up.
bombarding team.
Let me cook. What if they just sit
Okay.
and spawn this round? Like, wait for the
Like-
push up on A. Just wait for that flanker.
Are we going to see? No, we're immediately seeing a push there up on top. But Heist immediately dodged the scan. Might
And
have
you
a
have to be aware,
timing
though.
here as High Rise is ready for that peak, and Rosemary does end up falling, and yeah, look at that pressure. That was a cook there for sure, and now having a gate crash out there, now aware that they're waiting for the aggression there.
This is still doable though for BHOP. That's the sad thing. Like, you just don't know anymore.
Yeah, you really don't, and Ronan trying to get a timing there, and Grifty definitely heard that drop from Ronan. Is going to be calling that one out. Evanadator is ready for some aggression here, and kind of aggression, and what kind of get back are we going to be seeing? Evanadator in the back, and Logic just throwing it down.
Down A.
Oh, it's devastating, and if Yunjin 15 HP.
Oh, spots out the Viper!
Ronan!
Nah, you
Logic
can't get
is
2v5s.
just so good.
30 seconds left.
I mean,
Logic just hits those. Yeah, Logic just hits those.
it's a
Sorry, I get-
2v5.
It was it was a 2v5 on site, and they just pulled that out. That is devastating for Acrylic.
I hate to pick on like Tams here, but it feels like every single time these players are going down, it's like he could have just benefited from like a Sova arrow or a drone or something. And I don't know if that utility was already forced out. I don't know if they had it back, or I think maybe Acrylic just wait. They say, hey, let's just wait for Dart, and then let's just execute again. Because although we've gained that space towards B, it's not going to do us anything if we don't know where these players are on site. Maybe it was there, maybe it just missed. But either way, Acrylic now 1 round away from actually getting 2-0'd in this map. Grifty goes down.
That's the issue with that gate crash there. It's not like an Empress, and it's not like a dash. It's not instant. It's not a guaranteed get-out-of-jail-free card, and it didn't work in the favor. Wasn't able to get the one and get out. And now it's a 5v4 complete retake on site, and Ronan's going to be able to find Logic. That revenge kill is definitely going to come in handy, but Evanator is not done fighting yet. He finds another onto Ronan, sniffs out the rat in the back, and now it evens it up 3-3. But man, that tour de force might be deadly, but now it's a 1v3, 2v1. Make that. Yunjin stunned out, trying to find it. Ended up rendezvousing, but there goes. That is the GG. As that overdrive did come out. Finishing up the match there, 13-11. A lot closer than I thought it would be. I did not expect BHOP to do that, to do so well with the 5 duelist comp, but I mean, granted, they did really well with the 4 Sentinel single controller, and then still did really well with the 5 duelist, although it was arguably less like adaptive. Like you couldn't really play that like. It's so weird. I'm losing the words for it. Ari, please help me out here.
Yeah, I mean, it is that sense of, okay, we can play a little bit more structured on that 4 Sentinel with the Clove versus that 5 Duelist. Like, it's always going to look cleaner because you can adapt, like, based off of the round start and setup, but your game plan is always going to be the same if it's 5 Duelists, and that's why it's going to look a little bit more wishy-washy, but it's about how they take those fights, and that's why you did see those mistakes that, you know, that's the key word. I mean, that's what it always is, mistakes. That's the difference between these two teams, and I think towards the last few rounds, I would say last 5 rounds, BHOP just out-aimed. Like, that's what it was. There were no trades from Acrylic. They got 2v5'd, and then the fact that the player who goes on and clears flank, I believe it was Lorena, Evanator, just managed to grab 2, and that's the thing that you're looking for, those trades that allows for the pinch to come through, and then it's just GG. Like, BHOP, they really have their retakes secured, or just the utility, that timing is perfect from this team. So props to them. They truly deserve to win, and I can't wait to see if these strats hold up against other teams, if it's just Acrylic that find this to be a weakness, or if it's just maybe today they were feeling a little inspirational. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and looking at the scoreboard here, you know, running some numbers here, there's really not a lot of a difference here. I mean, the bottom frags of each team, Tam's got 11, Grifty got 10, Yunjin ran up 14, Heist 16, 17, 19, 20, 20, 23, 23. I mean, these teams were so even just stat-wise, and it really showed in the score as well, 13-11. Rosemary ended up topping the leaderboard, 23-16, 272 ACS, and I mean, the only player that didn't get over 200 ACS was Grifty, but I mean, a lot. It was just, I think it was a mechanical diff, Ari. I really think that it came down to just better aim, a little bit faster reaction time, because I was seeing a lot of effort and a lot of good trading positions from Acrylic, but against a team of duelists that every single one of them has some sort of get out of jail or free card or movement. I mean, Grifty's got that gate crash, Evanator has got that dismiss, Logic's got the TP, and Rosemary has that invincibility shield. I mean, the only one that didn't really have like an instant after kill get out of jail thing was Heist, because, you know, you got to run up that sprint a little bit, but the trade-off for that, Heist is able to slide into battles and have better aim. It really just, it is such a versatile team if you know how to play it and your mechanics can just overall back it up. And we saw just a masterclass of how off-meta comps are really able to still shine. I mean, if this isn't proof that you can run any comp you want, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen deadlock on this map even, and it really just comes down to if you have the strats, if you have the chemistry, if it's so much out there that people haven't quite scrimmed against it, you can sneak away a win, and they do. BHOP, they're going to move now to 1-1. Team Acrylic, they're now going to move down to 0-3. That's going to be 0-6 map record for them. That's got to hurt, but I don't think they're mathematically eliminated just quite yet. I think there is a world that they still manage to qualify for playoffs, but it's definitely going to have to require them to win out here. And we all know that that is not a safe bet, considering you don't even know what comps you're going up against anymore.
Oh, yeah, absolutely no clue. And honestly, considering how BHOP works, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled out a completely different comp on these maps, should they be pulled again. But what I think we can count on is the next person that goes up against BHOP is going to be probably banning Ascent and Icebox after seeing this matchup right here, so I'm definitely not going to be surprised. But that is going to be all for today for the Luxe series. Once again, I am Lash the Caster, and with me today is Ari Cast, the creative director for Luxe series, hopping in. Appreciate it. Our big thanks to the entire production crew involving a lot of different production people that rotate in and out, as well as Ice Fire-Eyed, who does casting and did our producing and observing today. So big thanks to the entire production crew. Big thanks to Luxe series for having us out. This has been BHOP and Acrylic, BHOP 120, and we will see you guys another day. But that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.
Take care.
Shh.